Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to talk Savi's workshop and some really cool new updated items that recently came out on May the 4th, along with some other things that have just happened to have been out for a while and I've never gotten around to talking about it. Now, if you're a long follower of the channel, I built my original Savi's lightsaber many years ago. I say many, but it was like 2. But whenever, I want to say maybe last year, the year before, whatever. Built my original Savi's workshop lightsaber power control, of course, you know. But here recently, this past year, a few months ago, they updated all of the hilts with new scrap metal. And of course, as soon as they updated the power and control, I got back in there and I built me a version 2 power and control lightsaber. I gotta say, the version 2 is so cool looking. Look at the emitter end on this thing. Super cool. But it always crossed my mind that now I have this version 1 power and control and version 2, very different styles, but I've always wanted to put them together. They finally did it. They made a connector, and I finally picked one up at Doc Onders the other day, and we're going to take a look at that, along with a brand new lightsaber stand. Cool. It's a double lightsaber stand, which is great. We can finally display our staff sabers. But it lights up, and you can attach kyber crystals to it, and it's really cool. So we're gonna take a look at that as well, and I think that's it. But so let's get on with it. We're gonna start. So, well, I got the hilt in my hand, or the stand in my hand. Let's go ahead and start with that. Remember these guys? Yeah, if you're a lightsaber collector, you remember these, and how much of a pain in the ass they are to put your lightsaber on those stupid little plastic clips that barely balance your $150, $200 lightsaber on. Yeah, super sleek design, very poor design for putting your lightsabers on display, because I've always worried there's going to be an avalanche back here with all my lightsabers in the display, that, you know, one of these clips falls and boom, down they all go. I've had 1 or 2 fall, but I've never really had like the domino effect where they all fall, which is really hard to believe. But I like these hilt stands, but they are not great for staff sabers, which leads to the brand new lightsaber stand, this bad boy. If you're a Fallen Order or Survivor player, this should look very familiar. This feature is actually featured in the Jedi Survivor video games. Yeah, and it lights up. What's really cool about this one is you can adjust for different widths of your hilt, or if you're putting a staff on there, you can, you know, lay the whole staff across this one, and you know, obviously a lot bigger lightsaber, you're going to need to spread them out. But if I just happen to have a smaller one because I just filmed another video here recently. I happen to have a very short lightsaber, a Darth Sidious, where you have to push them all the way together if you're going to use this. But how cool is that? So depending on what size you want to use, you can adjust it. Very smart design. Very smart that they did that. Actually here, I actually just happen to have my staff Darth Maul Clone Wars laying there. You see how tight that is? It doesn't look right. So you spread them out, give it a little more balance. Oh, that looks much better. And give it a little more balance. This is why I bought them. I didn't even buy these for the functionality of the light ups and the kyber crystals. I bought these just for this reason, that I can finally display my staff sabers without worrying about them falling off. I wish I could show you down here on the bottom of this case. Let me put this down before I break it. In the bottom of this case, I'm gonna grab 2 of these hilt stands, the original hilt stands. I have my classic Darth Maul balanced on 2 hilt stands like this. And you know, and you put the little plastic clips in there, just literally balancing, you know, up against each other on 2 of these bad boys. How terrible is that? You know, it's basically a $400 lightsaber that is really balancing on the Force itself, holding it in place. So thank you, Disney and the creator, who finally brought out a lightsaber stand for staff sabers. Now, the original ones cost $25, $24.99. The new light up ones, $49.99. So they are pricey, but you are paying for the interactive functionality and color changing. That's the downside, is if you want to display it, you want these just for your staff sabers, you're gonna pay that premium price anyway. So, but I'm slowly picking some of these up because I have a bunch of Staff Sabers. I just picked up the Cal Kestis limited edition one. I need one of these for that. So, slowly getting these for my collection, but we're gonna take a look at the color changing interactiveness of this thing. Now, you've got on your back, here you go. See, it gives you all this information on the bottom, right there. Interactive lightsaber stand, gives you your instructions, yada yada yada. We're not gonna go through all that, but this is solid metal. Well, I say solid, but it's metal with, you know, plastic, but the coating and all is metal. Like I said, each side slides, you know, for your different width hilts. Control button, charge port, on off, or this is your color on off, you know, and this is your color changing button. Unfortunately, they came from there with no battery charge. They are rechargeable, but from my experience, they aren't going to hold the battery charge very long. So if you're going to use these for a mass display, you're probably going to try to figure out a way to hardwire these, or you're probably going to be lights out for most of the time. But I have a handy dandy power cord here to plug in, so we can actually take a look at this without worrying about it falling, you know, batteries dying. But you turn it on. How well can you see that on the camera? You basically only got 4 lights on this thing. That's going to illuminate your. Let me turn this light down on the cameras. Let me turn this off real quick so we can see the lighting a little better. There you go. That's a little better. See, you got the red, green, blue. It's like a violet. It's like a teal. It's kind of hard to see. I'm looking at my little playback screen, and that's red again. Yep, and then yellow, green. Yep, you only got like 6 colors. Basically the kyber crystal colors. But what's really cool about this one, ooh, now I look cool. It's on the bottom. See all these little slots. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. These are kyber crystal slots where you can illuminate kyber crystal. I can't even say it. Kyber crystals. So, sold separately, unfortunately, are these little metal plates. I think they're $12.99 or $13.99. They're like they're not crazy expensive, but if you want 11 of them, there's, you know, $300 or 150 bucks. What, boy, terrible math. For some reason I'm thinking it was 30. I'm thinking like the handstand itself, but a discount does work on these, so it does help a little bit if you have an annual pass. But 13 bucks, they're coming around at like 10 bucks with the discount or so. But they come with this little clip that clips into the bottom here, which then makes them not light up. You're like, what the heck, pen? What is going on? Why is it not lighting up? Well, as you can see, they are touch sensitive. Remember those little toys as a kid where you touch the little metal prongs and then it would make noise or whatever? It's like that. So it's got to have some type of touch, you know, to get it to illuminate. So when you I have the crystal sitting here, you go. Got the lit up green, so when you put your green crystal on there, if I get it to lay on there properly, when you put your crystal on there, it should light up. Very finicky. There we go. There you go. So look at that nice glowing green crystal. That's actually pretty cool. It's a little finicky to get it, you know, you got to get it positioned right, just right, because it's got like a little dip in it. So the crystal doesn't want to lay in there, obviously. So you kind of got to play around with it to get it to make the right connection so it actually illuminates. But how cool is that? I have all 6 crystals sitting here. We're just going to take a look at them real quick because we're trying to extend the length of this video for my monetizing. I'm just kidding. But there you go, yellow crystal. It is a very cool feature. So, you know, I may end up getting some more of these just to have one. Might do one of them on display. The only thing is, like, these things are not good with battery power. So it is not going to last very long with battery power. See how, like, you got to get it like positioned just right to get it to illuminate. But it's very cool. I'd like props to the design team for whoever came up with this. It's a very cool design. There you go. But just look at how much it actually does illuminate the crystal. Awesome. You know, that's super cool. So, you know, it would find a way to try to display this. You know, I may put one, you know, out here where actually not inside my case where you can actually, you know, see it. Because, you know, there's not a whole lot of use for the crystals. Like, if you're not using your crystals, they're kind of just sitting in these tubes you can't really do anything with. So it is nice to give you a way to display all your crystals if you choose. Very cool. like I said, a little pricey, but the interactiveness is great. The colors is great. The only downside is it doesn't look like the battery power is great. So if you could have it plugged up to the wall at all times, or, you know, just have it on an outlet or something like that, that would work out great. But there you go. Color changing lightsaber stand. I'm going to set this down. We'll come back to that. I'm going to put this, I'm going to turn my light back on so y'all can see my ugly face. There you go. Now, the next new thing that came out was, I mentioned it in the beginning of the video if you remember, the ability to finally connect your Savi's lightsabers. This little piece of scrap metal, which does not match either one of my hilts, is the only thing that they brought out to connect your Savi's lightsabers. This looks to me like a Peace and Justice connector, based off the chrome and the look of it. But that's the only one they have. Maybe they're going to have different versions like the Power and Control, Elemental Nature, and I can never remember the fourth one. But maybe they're going to have a connector. Maybe they might be testing the water with these to see if people actually buy them. Instead of designing, you know, 4 different, you know, couplers, and you know the production cost of making 4 different ones gonna be high when especially when you got to order like thousands of them in a batch. Make one batch, try it out, see if people buy them, and if they do, we might come out with different versions, ones that actually match the theming of each one. But this is all we got, and this is what we're going to use. So we are finally going to do it. We are going to put my version 1 Power and Control together with my version 2. Just bear with me, we're going to do a little disassembling. Take the pommel off. This is version 1. I'm going to put that end facing the other way, because the version 2's got a lot of black in it, so I'm going to put that end facing towards the other one. You can already see that this, yeah, it sort of matches. The blacks and the chrome sort of match the metal. It's a little, this is like a polished metal. This one's more like a matte finish, so it sort of matches.
But it's not perfect. And then version 2. How cool is the version 2 design? You know, I never did a review on this, but like, I mean, how can you not pick Power Control? I mean, it's such a cool design. How could you not pick this? You know, it's awesome with, you know, the spikes on the emitter end. It's like, makes you feel like, I don't know, I don't even know what it makes me. It's just a very cool design. Props again to the design team who came up with the, you know, the version 2 of all these, and that was really on there. Of the new scrap metals. Here's where it's going to get interesting. These are already heavy, so now we're going to put them together. Now you can already see that this, I mean, it's not bad. It's not terrible. Tighten these up. There you go. And now, dual staff version 1 and 2 Power and Control staff lightsaber. Very cool. See, the thing is, you need, with the Power Control, you need something with a little more black and maybe a little red to kind of tie into these 2 designs. But you're never going to have anything that's a perfect match to match the 2 versions of. So I guess
that's probably why they went with this kind of basic design that kind of just goes with maybe a little bit of everything. So like, if you really want a connector, like here's a connector. Maybe that's why they did it this way. Nothing too fancy. But there you go, Power and Control versions 1 and 2. Which I mean, obviously I like the version 1 because the first lightsaber built, you know, that experience was incredible. The second build, you know, I already knew what to expect. It was cool, you know, building, you know, getting experience it a second time. But that first time is always going to be the most special. So there you go. That's pretty cool. You know, we finally can connect our Savi's lightsabers. But boy, this is always heavy. And now we have a stand if you want to display it just like that. This thing is huge. Make sure this is spread all the way out. Very nice and centered. Let's kill the lights. Sorry for my hand in the way. There we go. Now if I was smart, let me kill the overhead light too while we're at it. There we go. Now you can't really see anything. It doesn't really, I mean, illuminates some. It looks better in person than it does on camera. Let's roll through some of the, it probably doesn't help that my lightsaber case behind us is so lit up. But yeah, there you go. Very cool. it's nice that they're finally adding stuff that we've asked for a long time. You know, a connector. We've been asking for a lightsaber connector for our Savis for a long time, especially when they have different versions. So it's great that they finally did that. The stand is super cool. It's awesome to finally have a staff lightsaber stand. Hallelujah. How many staff sabers do I have? I'm gonna look. Got 1. The new Kestis is 2. Got Temple Guard 3. I have the Clone Wars Maul, that's 4. Ventress is 5. I have the Jaro Tapal double Kestis, so that's 6. Yeah, so I got at least 6 staff sabers that are gonna be very happy sitting on this new hilt stand. Yeah, and the Kyber Crystal attachment system, awesome design. That is such a cool thing, and you know, it's not something I'm gonna utilize. I mean, I might, but right now I mainly just want these staff stands. But yeah, very cool. Let me know if you what you think, if you're gonna pick up one of these new stands, if you're gonna pick up the Kyber crystals, you're gonna go for all the crystals. I don't know why there's 11, because there's only 7 different color crystals. So I guess not really sure why there's 11 attachments, because there's 7 different colors. So if you were going to display one of each, you only need 7. So I'm a little confused why so many, but if you want to display multiples of the same colors, cool. You can do that. So let me know what you think. You're going to buy a stand, you're going to get a coupler. There you go. A little Savi's update. Version 2, actually version 2. What do you think of the version 2 power and control as well? There you go. There's my quick little what's new at Savi's Workshop Legacy lightsaber perspective stands, connectors, hilts, and all.